everyone. I'm Ruei Ann, the Deputy Agency Head, and this is my co-host for today, Mohammad, the Outreach Director of our agency. Welcome back to another episode of Venturous Talk. We are from Venturous PR, a student-led PR agency at Taylor's University and a part of the School Media and Communications. So for our listeners today, for Venturous Talk Season 2, Episode 4, which is sadly to say, our very final episode for this season. But we finally have a female solo guest. So let's not waste any more time. Let us introduce our special guest for today. We have Miss Mei, who is the founder of Quattro Communications and a PR practitioner with decades of experience. So today we'll be discussing how PR is a timeless industry. So let's start with something simple, Miss Mei. We know that you are founder of a PR firm, but maybe briefly tell us how you got into the PR field. How did you establish this PR firm and all the way till now?
Oh, well, first of all, thanks for having me on. How I got into the PR field, actually, I didn't know anything about PR when I first started. I didn't even know such an industry existed as it is. I've worked as a journalist before, and I've always wanted to go back into journalism. I did my internship in journalism before I went into university, and I have my mind all fixed to be a journalist. And what happened was then when I graduated in the mid 1980s, it was a recession, and I think everybody was tough looking for a job. And what happened was that in my final year in uni, just before my finals, there was this PR company that sent out a notice to the department. I did English in University of Malaya, and they said that they are looking for executives. Out of curiosity, everybody applied except for me because I wanted to do journalism. And a few of my friends went, and they went for the interview and all that. And they said that, look, just go for the heck of it and go to just get the experience of an interview. So that's basically what I did. I went and the next thing I knew, I was offered the job. Maybe because I had background before, I had training before as a journalist before I went into university. Even then, when I had a job, I sort of held out because I wanted to be a journalist. So I actually interviewed with another media company, and I called up the company and I said, look, I got offered this job. Are you guys going to offer me a job? Because that's it. If you're not going to offer me a job, then it's a recession, and I want to earn some money. So let's let me know. They said that, well, they can't get me know. They would let me know in 2 weeks and whatever. So I thought that, well, a bird in hand is better than none at all. So that's how I accepted the PR job. And when I did, and a month into working as a PR, I got offered as a journalist the job. And then I said, well, it's not correct. It's not right in terms of work ethics for me to quit and go somewhere else. So I just stuck on. I told the boss, I said, look, I got this other job, but I will still stick on to it. And and if I don't like it, I'll go back to journalism. But so that was it. And the next thing I know, all these years have passed. So that's how I got started in PR. If you have been working in the industry long enough, you would know that the PR industry is not a static industry. It's a constantly evolving industry. And it is an industry that you are learning continuously, either about your clients and their businesses, or about the new tools, the new channels of communications that come out, the different ways that you could work with the clients, the different strategies that you employ. So it's a constant working and constant learning environment that keeps you stimulated, that keeps you interested, and keeps you passionate about what you want to do. And I think on the fundamental of it, if you look at your work as not just a job that will give you your salary at the end of the day, but if it's a calling, it's an all-encompassing passion, then you don't feel the years as a drudgery. You just feel that it goes through. And until today, after being in this industry for over 30 years, I'm still learning. I'm still learning from my staff. I'm still learning from my clients. I'm still learning something new, on technology, on new stuff that comes in. So there's never a dull moment in terms of that. And that, I think, keeps you moving, and that keeps you going.
You talked about how the industry is ever changing. Now, you are or we can consider you a veteran in the communications industry, but in this industry, you have to constantly adapt to new technology to stay relevant. We also have a stereotype that when a person is a senior in terms of age, they are slow to adapt, or not slow to adapt, but sometimes they may refuse new changes. How do you break that stereotype?
I think what you said is correct. It's a stereotype. That's how it is. I mean, I think the young have this preconceived ideas about the old, and the old has this preconceived ideas about the young. And if we keep this ageism thing going and say that, oh, she or he is elephant that cannot, or you can't teach an old dog new tricks, then they will never be able to bridge that gap. I think both parties have lots to learn from each other. And I think both parties have to shed off their preconceived ideas. Those who are older in the industry shouldn't think that I've been that, done that. I've walked this way journey much further and much longer than you. So don't tell me what to do. I think that's a wrong attitude, because I'm constantly learning from my staff, and I don't think it's a shame to say that I do not know. I do not know everything. I do not know. I do not know about this new technology. You guys know about it. You tell me what it is. You teach me what it is. And at the same time, those who are in the older category must be open-minded and must be open to be teachable. And there's no such thing as I'm too old to learn. I think you learn until the day you die. And even then you're learning how to die, at the end of the day. So, so that's how it is. I think the moment you tell yourself that you're too old to learn, okay, it's time you hit the grave. That's my thinking, at the end of the day.
Mhm.
So I'm constantly learning from my clients, and as I've been in this industry longer, my clients getting younger and younger. I'm able to tell them, look, I can see your point of view. I see where you're coming from. I can see what it is. But have you thought about it in this way from the strategy point of view? I think sometimes when you're young and you're vibrant, you are gung-ho, you tend to say, let's go and do it. Let's do it now. Nothing is going to stop me. But I think what this is when the older ones come in and say, great, you have this idea, this energy. I'm not going to temper that. I mean, it is good. But let's take a step back. Have you thought of this consequences? If you do this, what will be the results? If you do B, what will be the results? Now you weigh the pros and cons of both approach, and you tell me, do you still think that what you suggested is correct? Or do we need to reject it, bearing in mind the consequences? So I think that way, both sides can learn.
Of
I
course.
don't think we should adapt the attitude of, because I'm the boss, you listen. Neither an attitude of, oh, she's the boss, I listen to her, or he's the boss, you listen. I think it's a two-way thing. I mean, I learn a heck of a lot from my staff, and I think it's good because it keeps me young in certain ways. But I'm also able to tell them, hey, this client is asking you this question, and I think he or she, the client, is going down this path. And true enough, they will be going down that path. And then often my staff will come up to me, how the heck do you know that they're going to ask that question? How the heck do you know that it's good this? I said, that's where experience comes in. I think we should shed a lot of the preconceived ideas on both sides. There's no right and no wrong. There's no one thing is better than the other.
And so we are curious about more of the media landscape. So you said that you have 30 years of experience, right? And you're constantly learning. So can you tell us how much has changed in the communication industry within these 30 years? Especially in terms of maybe the PR landscape and the media? Yeah.
The media landscape has changed totally, honestly. Let me tell you about when I first started PR, okay? I'm not sure, you guys are definitely too young. We still use machines called the WANG, or word processing machines, okay? And that's all they do, word processing machines. We still do, the secretaries still use things like telex. Facsimile was the new thing then. And how we do is that, we would send copy to our clients for approval, and they had to be hand delivered by dispatch. Now it's like, good grief, it's such a breeze. You just do the thing, WhatsApp it to the clients, you approve it, and you sign it digitally, the approval, and you come back to us, and everything is cool. And everything can be done within, 2 hours. That's it. Yeah. In those days, if you get an approval in 2 days, it's considered fabulous. That's how it is. And if I type a release or come up with a release, and I make a typing mistake, I got to scratch it out and retype the whole blinking thing all over again. I can't delete and cut and paste. And and there is no Google, no Wikipedia, no nothing. When I want to do research, I got to go to a library or a media library and sit down in the library and do my research. So that's how much the media landscape. And for that, I'm ever thankful for the evolution of technology. Okay. The media landscape have definitely changed. You all know that the print media is struggling in many aspects, and print media does not feature as prominently as social media, as digital media, as other news media. And our interaction with journalists, with editors, have also changed totally. Sometimes I do question whether the change is good in the sense that it eases the speed of work. I do not have to see your face. There are people who I've been interacting it for years. I do not know how they look. I've never ever met them. But sometimes that personal interface touch is still can do wonders, particularly in an industry as public relations, because it is at the end of the day personal relationship that works, personal touches that works. So if you look at the change, yes, it's a welcome change. In certain aspect, it's also a very sad change because I think it dehumanizes people to a certain extent. So for my part, what I try to do, I still try to mix the new with the old. I still try to say that, hey, I've been communicating with you for years. I have no idea how you look. Let's go out for drinks. Let's go out for lunch or for roti canai somewhere or whatever. So at least, because it's different when you talk to somebody who's completely virtual. But if you talk to somebody whom you have met before, the whole relationship dynamics changes. And when you talk to the person, you say, this is how I know Ruei Ann looks like. So I'm no longer talking to a blank screen with the word RO there. I'm talking to an actual person. And that changes the dynamics. So I think while the current progress is welcomed, I always advise my staff and the young people, go out and try to interact. Okay, it doesn't make it easier with COVID, okay, and everybody is wearing a mask, but seeing somebody with a mask is better than seeing somebody virtually.
So when we look at changes that have been happening in the past 30 years, I think we can talk about how PR firms approach their clients. And when we look at Quattro Communications in specific, when we looked at the website, we saw something that's called Smart PR Approach. Can you give us some more insight on that and maybe tell us why you believe that approach is best for your clients or for your firm?
Basically, what we do in terms of smart PR, okay, is the fact that I think if you do your course, your theory of PR, okay, you will have things like, okay, here you have your press release to be done. You have this is when you employ digital, you go on the social media platform. This is when you have an interview, and this is when you have an online press conference and stuff like that.
Yes.
But not everything falls into that kind of framework, okay? Not everybody, because our environment is dynamic, and we cannot say that one particular way of doing things will fit everything. Or sometimes you may have clients that come to you and say, I want a news release to be done, or I want to hold a press conference. You go back and you tell them why. So smart PR is our way of saying that we are looking at a client's needs and issue from a 360 perspective and say that, look, you tell us what is your need and why do you think you need this? What are the rationale behind this? Okay. And then, certain clients will come to you with a preconceived idea of what they want to do. Okay, because they said, we know our business. Therefore, I want to communicate to my target audience in this way. So we said, look, you may want to do it this way, but it may not be the best way. Sometimes, then we tell them, look, why do you want to do a press conference? I mean, as a PR company, I could say, great, you can do a press conference. I get more money from you organizing a press conference than writing a simple news release, But that is besides the point. Money is besides the point. The point is, how are you as a communications consultant to your clients? So smart PR is looking at the client's business, their needs, and be able to tell them what is it that they need to do over and above what they think they need to do. And sometimes what they need to do may be nothing. And I have said that to clients before. You don't need PR for this. So don't waste your money and you just go and advertise. That will give you a better spend for your buck. You will be not that I don't want it. Some of them of course say, well, I got money, so you don't want it. Said, no, it's not that. That's beside the point, because my company's reputation is also at stake. My personal reputation is at stake. So when I say that you don't need to do this, you don't need to do this. Or sometimes they say that I want to do a press conference. I said, no, you don't. It's not something that you need a press conference. It's something that you can do in-house on your social media platforms. You can communicate better with those, using those means and platforms. So it is utilizing PR tools where it's most effective, not where it is most, because I want it to be done this way, and not because it gives me the best returns for my money. Sometimes the best things to do is doing nothing.
Now, Quattro Communications have various clients from different industries. They have airline, technology, and even real estate planning companies. So how do you, as a communication expert, or how are you able to really familiarize yourself with the different fields and familiarize yourself with the company's histories, their trends, their industries so quickly in order for you to properly serve them? Is there a strategy that you use?
Passion is what it is. Passion for your work, because as I said, if you want to grow rich, you don't come into the PR industry. Okay, you don't earn big bucks in the PR industry. And as you asked me earlier, what keeps me going for all these years is passion for my work. I mean, I am not ashamed to say I have great pride in my work. And I'm not ashamed to say that my clients have great pride in my work. We are not a big company. We are, I would describe us as a boutique company. And it is by design that I do that. I don't believe in having a huge portfolio. I don't believe in going in to pitch for a business and then leave the client to my executives or to my juniors, and I disappear until it's time for a client review, and then come back and say, hi, I'm here, this is what you do, and go in and ask for more money or whatever. I believe that when the client comes in, whether you pay me 10 grand a month or you pay me 50 grand a month, you deserve the same level of attention, the same level of care and service. Otherwise I don't take the client as it is. So we have intentionally kept our portfolio small at any one time. So it's good in the sense that my staff don't get burnout, and they give them more time to familiarize themselves about their clients. They got time to read up about the clients, about their competitors, about the industry, about the issues. So that is what it is. And when you go and pitch for a business, you can't go in blind. As I said, nowadays you have Mr. Google on your fingertips. You to do a proposal and all that, you do your research, you do your market research, and you do your online research. So all that knows, and I mean there's alerts and there are 101 things. It's a matter of whether you have the interest and you have the passion to really know your client. So that's why if you also notice on our website, we don't call them, we tell them we don't have clients, we have partners, because that's what they are. They're partners to us. Once it's a client, then it's like a distant relationship, but it's a partner. It has come to a point sometimes when I write a speech for a client, I get into their mindset. I get into their way of thinking. And I have client contacts that come to me and say, it's scary how you write like my boss, or how you write like my boss talks. I said, yeah, it's because I make an effort. I make an effort to know your boss, to know not just professionally, but I interact with them. You get to know them socially, not that you go partying with them, so socially you know what's their interest, what is their what is it that they like to do or don't like, and you share interests with them. If they know that they like reading, you share certain books, kind of genre of books with them, or they like golf, you talk to them about that, or Netflix, whatever, that's how it is. So PR is not a job, as I always say. If you think PR as a career, then it's a consummate career. Even when I go on vacation, I may be shopping in London or passing windows, I look at things and say, hey, this is something that this other client may be good for them. Yeah. Or if I read a letter that comes in from overseas, or some kind of pack that comes in, hey, my client can maybe do this, but we adapt it to the local situation. So that is how you build that relationship, always putting the interest of the client, always thinking, or sometimes I see something funny, I just snap a photograph, WhatsApp it to them, say, hey, what do you think of this? And that's how it is. And always don't think that, look, you are not the expert in your client's industry, no matter how much you know. You are the expert in your industry, which is the communications industry. Your client is always the expert. So if you do not know, it's no shame in telling them, I do not know. Can you explain to me? They will explain. I say, I'm not the subject expert on this. Can you please let me know what exactly you mean? And that's when you learn. Because if you pretend that you know everything, gosh, you will never learn.
Thank you so much. I think that you are definitely correct. I think if you're passionate enough about something, you will definitely take the time and effort to learn more about it.
Okay, so one final question, which is, you're saying how your passion has led you to working continuously. So one important question is that, have you ever faced a situation that is against your beliefs or your principles when you're working? Do you mind sharing with us, especially on how you handle the situation?
I think everybody has that kind of situation. So if it's really, I don't think I would want to share with you because there are certain proprietary, client. Yeah. So, but I think if it's something that is against your belief, you shouldn't be afraid to walk away from it. I mean, I've done it before. I always tell clients that public relations is not whitewashing. It's not to cover up what is not right, but it is a means for you to tell your story so that people could have both sides of the story. Yeah, so that is the thing. And if the clients disagree with you and want to continue with what they want to do not be afraid to just say, that's it, I walk away. You want to do it your way? It's not my way, and it's not the way I do business. It's not the way and I've walked away many times. Of course they will bitch. They could be bitching about me still, or whatever. I don't care, because then I can walk away with a clear conscience and say that I've done nothing. I can go to sleep at night with a clear conscience before myself and before God and before everybody else. So that's it.
Probably share what kind of things that might be against your beliefs. For give some examples.
There are certain industries that I don't support, okay, or whom I think is, well, that's a personal thing. So if I had these industries coming to ask for PR support, and which I tell them, sorry, it's a personal thing. I can't do this, okay. Or the clients will come back and say that, look, they are facing this issue, and once we dissect the issue, and I said, is that true? Is there any truth in what is being said out there? And if I find that they're holding back the truth, or they are saying that, yeah, but it's not like that, can we not tell them this, so then I don't look so bad? Then we can't. You have to admit wrong when there's wrong. And sometimes it's easier to go forward with your communications plan if you come away clean. So, or if there are wrong claims about certain products or certain services, I mean, those are the bottom lines that I won't touch.
Okay. Well, that marks the end of the questions. Thank you so much for spending your time with us and with Ventures, Miss May. We truly appreciate that you are willing to spend some time and share your story with all of us and the students and the viewers. This has been a fruitful discussion for all of us, and we really enjoyed our time. And yeah, this is an official wrap on Ventures Talk Season 2. Um, thank you so much. Thank you to all the viewers.
Okay,
And
thank you, guys.
pleasure hosting this episode with my co-host Rayan and to our great guest, Miss May.
Thank
Okay, thank you.
you.
Bye-bye.
See you.